Hi there. Here I am, Emily, with the lovely Jill. And we're going to talk about something that might feel a little bit uncomfortable for some people, but it's a question we get a lot.
Mhm.
And so we don't feel uncomfortable talking about it at all with all of you. We just want to share some advice and some tips. What is it that we're going to be talking about?
Hmm.
Talking about raising your rates. So we know that this is common practice for all tutors. It has to happen sometimes, right? We have to raise our rates. So, but there's a lot of questions sort of looming around. When to do it, how best to communicate that. So Jill and I have three wonderful tips to get you on the right track when you
Right.
are ready to raise those rates.
Yes, and this is a great time to talk about this because the biggest question we first get is when do I raise my rates, right?
Hmm.
Like, yes, how do I do it? When do I know to do it? But also just the logistics of, when do I do this? So there are two times that we think are pretty prime for raising your rates. The first one is when the new school year starts or whenever your academic year begins, if you however you do tutoring. So whenever your new year kicks in, which is typically the beginning of school, that is a prime time to raise your rates. Now, when we look at this, we want you to think about when families sign up to work with you, there is the understanding that whatever rate they signed up for, they're not going to expect you to change it in February, right? Unless you've suddenly opened up a new building or something like that, that it's really obvious. We all kind of are under the same assumption, if not under a contract where the family is signed, that their rate is the rate for the school year, at least, right? So it makes sense that when a new school year is beginning, that is a really good time to go ahead and make it like a blanket part of your policies and back to school that you raise your rates. Now, if you do that, give your families warning, give them a heads up. Don't surprise them. So if
Right.
as
Right.
early as you can, right? So, the ideal time would have been at the beginning of summer, but if you didn't do it, go ahead and do it now. Like go ahead and give them a heads up, let them know when the date will be. That way if they have any questions, they can, ask you and you can clarify anything. Now, what is the other time, Emily, that let's say I already have, we're in the middle of the school year, we get some new students, we're thinking about raising our rates. So, what else can we do if we've already set our rate for our students that are working with us?
Right. So if you have your existing families are paying a specific rate and it's say it's the middle of the year and you have brand new students coming in, as Jill and I both have had in the past, um, and you are sort of on the fence about raising the rates, but you know that you are moving towards that direction.
Mhm.
Perhaps you're thinking, okay, for the upcoming school year, I know I'm going to. However, given maybe your current circumstances, any new students that are coming in at that time, you may institute the new rate for those new families coming in and starting with you then. So the existing family is still getting that rate until you're ready to do that increase, perhaps at the beginning of the school year, which was one of the first option. But any new families coming in get the updated rate that you are planning to charge. So
So
we've done
you
it
don't
that
have
way as
to
well,
wait.
and that works out very well as well. So you don't
Exactly.
have to wait, right?
You don't have to
Yep.
wait. You can just say, okay, I know I need to raise my rates and here's what they are. However, I am keeping my current families on. Like we're going to keep them with this current plan. And then I know that I need to let them know what'll be happening with
Right.
the school year.
Yeah. And I think when you do that, perhaps with a couple of new families mid-year,
Mhm.
it solidifies your decision
Right.
to raise your rate
Yes.
because you're thinking, well, I did it for these new families coming in. Okay, now I'm ready to um, communicate that to the existing families for the upcoming school year.
You got it. And it's going to give you that boost of confidence too.
It is.
That it's
Yes.
okay. And not everybody's going to be like surrounding you with pitchforks. It's okay, right?
Right, right. All right. So let's talk communication. That's something that's also really, really important. So of course we want to communicate to families when we're about to raise rates, right? Whether that be a phone call or when you're meeting with a family when they're picking up, or just through the phone or a quick Zoom meeting. So you can communicate that way. However, it is really helpful to have that language in perhaps your handbook or policies. So it's in writing. And we're not saying that you have to put what the new exact figure
Mhm.
will be. You can generically put in a statement that says and prepares families
Mhm.
an annual increase will be instituted for my tutoring rates. That way, you're not saying each year I'm raising my rate by $5.
Mhm.
That really sort of gives you some coverage where families not only will be able to expect it, so no shock there,
Mhm.
um, and that so you're preparing them, but also you are communicating it to them.
Absolutely. So before what we were
Yes.
talking about is more of like an announcement. Like you've made this decision,
Mhm.
you likely haven't raised your rates in a few years, and that's okay. But you're making that announcement. This one is more making it a regular part of your business practice. That
Right.
you will increase it, and you can even mentally have an amount. But that way you always kind of know that every year you're going to increase it a little bit. And that's just a part of doing practice, like of doing business. And that
Right.
can get you used to the fact that as a business owner, rates go up and that it's okay, right? That this is like a common practice that we do. And so by having it in your policies, you're just letting families know from the get go. Like you don't have to get all nervous and butterflies because when they signed up with you, they knew that because it was in your policies. So,
Right.
and that
Right.
leads us to our third important point, which is your mindset around raising your prices and how you explain things. So, we wanted to talk about this because when we talk with not families, tutors about raising their rates, a lot of times educators, we want to be overly like explaining all the things that are going into it and justifying why we're doing it. And we sometimes want to give too much information that we don't really need to do.
Yeah.
Now, if you are increasing your rates because you've gotten additional certifications, you've taken additional courses, right? You are bringing more to the table as an educator, that's fine to mention that. Totally fine. If your expenses have gone up, it's fine to explain that too. But
Mhm.
you do not need to go into a lot of detail, and you don't even need to go into detail at all. You can simply say, you know, that I'm increasing my rates. The new rate will be this starting on this date. Let me know if you have any questions about this or if I can help you in any way. So we wanted to kind of just share that with you that it is okay to explain that, my rates will be going up once I reach this new level of certification. Or I now have an office building that makes it easier for families to come and meet with me. That is okay to explain it, but don't feel like you need a whole dissertation on why you need to raise your rates. This
Nope.
common
Totally agree.
practice in business everywhere,
Everywhere.
right? And we're business owners. So
Yes.
nobody has the same pricing structure that they had 20 years ago. It does not matter where you are.
Right. And I think by having that mindset that we are embracing that, we're knowing our worth. We
Mhm.
are embracing that we're business owners who, as Jill was saying, across the board, this is very common
Mhm.
practice. So
Right.
it's nothing that we really have to feel like we have to shy away from or even have fearful feelings about.
Mhm.
It's just a part of being a business owner. And that's it.
Right. That's all it is. So go in there with that calm confidence that it is okay. People will not all be angry at you. This is happening, everywhere, whether you know it or not. The prices are going up. You can always choose if you know one or two families may struggle to afford your new rates. You can always decide to speak with them privately and let them know that, you can keep it at a certain rate to help them. You would get to decide those things as a business owner. Now, with these tricky conversations, these are hard decisions and hard things to figure out. How do I say it? How do I word it? Am I communicating this clearly? Do I sound confident but compassionate? And we want to invite you to join the Members Academy, because that is where we are having conversations like this every day. Members Academy has the tools and the resources and the trainings, but we also have lots of different opportunities to meet with other tutors, whether it's through Zoom calls. We have power hours every month. We have co-working sessions where you get together with other tutors and work on whatever you need to work on in your business. We have Q&As every month, and we have a private group. So when you get these sticky types of topics that you're just not sure about, you have a whole community of people who can help you figure out how to say things, what to say, and like deal with any of the hiccups that come up along the way. So
Yes. Yep.
you
And
should join it.
part of your success is going to be finding your community. And we truly believe that the Members Academy has the tools and strategies really to support you in that journey.
Absolutely. So come on in there, have some of those conversations with us. We'd love to see you. Just go to tutorsuccessacademy.com and all the information is there. So we will see you there. Bye.
Bye.